Well, there you go. I'm getting better with that crap. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Happy Tuesday. This month is flying by, and it's flying by with fun. That's right. Dale will not be joining us today because he's flying solo with the kids. Oh, there we go. And he's gonna do a kids night with himself. And I think the little woman is off with her friends. So Dale's spending some adult time with the kids. All right, let's bring in some people. Yes, that's right. Let's start with my man here, my man Ryan.
What's happening?
Look at that. It's been a while.
Look at
It's
that
been a while,
brave
Ryan.
soul bringing me back on.
You know what? I hit up Ryan. He's like, "Oh, I got a show tonight." But if it was up to me, I would have Ryan on every single time. You know why? Because I love him to death.
That was fun,
And
yeah.
this is one guy I don't love too much.
That was something he would
yeah.
never say about me, that he would have me
That-
on every time, or that he loves me. So
No,
Dwarf is like the
That's-
last
that's-
resort.
it's kind of funny. I think I love this guy more now that I'm bringing him on more. Comic Sam, Ish will be joining us as always. He runs a little late because he tries to be fashionably
It's
late.
ish.
It's Ish. Ish is always running a little late. It's true. You know him.
Oh, I
Sam,
know.
Come on.
I know.
I mean,
he's always got his issues.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
We got some stuff to talk about tonight. I actually made a list, people. Look at that.
That's
so
good. 'Cause I have no idea
yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm just drawing.
Yeah, I know. You never do. You just do your thing. So we're gonna be talking about the FF trailer, the new one that dropped. Right, people are losing their mind over it because they actually showed. Hey, look at that. We're gonna have Dan on next week.
So
'Cause
many
he wants-
beers.
and the funny thing is that
I think that's a personal
Because-
attack. on
It
me
is a
right
personal
now,
attack.
Dan.
I would say so, Sam.
It's messed up.
the reason why
don't-
we're not talking about Daredevil tonight is because of Dan himself. Because Dan
Mm.
was said, I don't want to talk about Daredevil until I'm back on the show because he wants to talk about it. So,
Well, that's good because I haven't seen any of it.
Oh, really?
so are you gonna binge it?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm so behind on shows. I haven't seen Penguin. I haven't seen Daredevil. I haven't seen some of the Star
Penguin's the
Wars
shit.
ones. I've been working nonstop so much that I just haven't put any of that stuff on because I know as soon as I put them on, I'm just gonna be stuck on them. And there's Ish.
Yeah.
What up?
There
Fresh-
he is.
All right, I'm out.
What up? What up?
It's just here. I can leave.
Yeah, can I hear me?
Now
Yeah,
can.
we can hear you.
What
Now
up,
we can.
Ryan?
What's
what
up,
up,
buddy?
Dwarf? What up, Sam? What up, Caesar? What up, people?
Well, I'm glad you finally were able to make it.
I love these.
you know,
people. I love everybody that's in here. Really
I got a
don't.
little nervous. I got a little nervous.
See,
That's
that's
why you
Caesar,
hit
he
me
said
up.
something
Everyone
nice
was
about
telling
the
me
people
no.
on the screen.
Sam, we got to work on beards, bro.
I've been working for 36 years.
I was gonna say, I think that's F Nick. You can't be calling him that. Ish, you can't start that shit.
Yeah, that's
If
I have a-
anybody could, though, it'd be you. You
Fair.
won't. You won't
That's
get
fair.
canceled.
I have I have a feeling.
Dell highlight.
Sam, let me ask you. When you try to grow the beard, does it come in patches?
No, nothing.
It's like a hair.
There's no
like a
action
hair.
here. If I
Oh.
grow this in, it looks very dirty. You know what? I'll just let it
Looks
let it go
very
for-
dirty.
like 2 months, and you'll maybe see something.
I really want to. I really want to go there. I really want to go there.
Well, you know what?
Shout out to
the reason
Del,
why,
too, by the way.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I can
well-
see Ish rock a beard or facial hair in general. It's never
You've seen
happened
me.
in the
I
time
always,
that I've known.
I always have like 5 o'clock shadows every once in a while. With the
That's not a
salt.
beard or a
Oh my!
mustache.
This
dude.
what we doing? This what we
I'm-
doing? And we cancel him?
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
the thing
allow
is that I because whenever I imagine you, Sam, with the beard, I think of like Shaggy, like you grow those like 3 long hairs,
Just right here.
right?
That
So
doesn't
that's
even
what I
happen.
write. Just like 3 long. Well, like Jeepers sees. That kind of thing. That's you can be saying that. All right, so we're going to be talking about the Fantastic Four trailer. I was going to say we can but we're not because Dan's not here. So Ish, remember we promised the fool that we're gonna talk about Daredevil next time he comes back on. We'll have Frank on from Atlas as well. We're going to talk about they want to do a Mace Windu straight up feature. They want to bring back the man himself, and then I also want to talk
Samuel
about
Jackson, you're gonna bring him on?
yeah.
Hmm.
No, I mean he wants to reprise his role as Mace Windu, and they want to do, and they're talking about doing a straight up movie, a Mace Windu movie. So I'm going to talk about that, right? And then you know what? I also want to talk about the market overall. Now that we're in April in 2025, I want to talk about where do we think we're at when it comes with the comic book market? Are we stabilized? Are we still dipping? Or are we starting to find ourselves in a slight rise in prices? So we can also talk about that. So I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and start it off with a quick hey Chef, I miss you too, pal. Fantastic Four trailer, the new one that just dropped. And we finally got Shellaball, right? Which I don't know. Okay, we'll get Shellaball, then we get a Galactus foot. All right.
The foot.
We see Mr. Fantastic Fantastics for doing his fantastic thing.
It's called stretching. I know it's
Okay,
a hard word,
stretching.
but it's called stretching.
You son of a bitch.
Mhm.
Let me just do my thing.
All right, do you think?
And then this is what I want to do. I want to know what you guys think about this whole, Shellaball.
Is that where you're starting?
I'm going to start with straight up. When I saw her in the trailer, I don't know. It just looked kind of off to me.
Looks like
Okay,
it's not fully rendered.
It almost looks like they're not done doing it. It's like they just threw it in there.
They are.
No.
It can't be, because how can it be that the Fantastic Four, the second one with Silver Surfer, looks 20 times better from a movie from 2000 and I don't even know when that came out.
7.
Was that
To-
long ago? Wow.
Yeah,
To
2007.
2025, and she must not have been that. It almost looked pixelated. It looked blurry. She was not shiny.
Well, she's shiny. I think it's overly done.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually like pause it, and there's been pictures like side by side of the different Silver Surfers, different silver characters, I should say. Like they did the T-1000, and then I think it was Colossus, and then Silver Surfer, and
Chef.
Shalaban, and Silver Surfer from 2007 still looks better than all of them.
Oh yeah,
But I don't think they're done. Like they still
Kinda.
have time to finish editing. They might have already done it. That's just the clip that they put together months ago. But I could be wrong.
They did the same thing with Sonic the Hedgehog, though. They put out some Sonic footage to get
Ooh.
opinions.
Yeah, but they also
And
delayed that to do that, and they are not delaying.
well, that's
it.
because of how drastically they needed to change
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was
they
pretty
completely
substantial.
redo everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have already. That could have just been like phase 1 for all we know.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to say, Abby, I don't like these new rules that they're imposing upon y'all to where y'all can't hang out with us for the full. I don't like it.
yeah. It's weird. It's
Oh,
weird
really?
they're doing
What do you
this.
mean?
Yeah.
Hang out?
There's this whole thing. They're trying to cut. They're
Is that the home?
They're being
at the homes. Yeah. They're
they're being old boy from Happy Gilmore. You can have a warm glass. You shut the like you need to get rid of him. You know what I mean?
Have a warm glass.
Wow.
Shut the hell up.
You need to get rid of him. He gotta go. Wherever they
Then
got
Happy
there,
Gilmore to the
they got
rescue.
to go.
Hey, Happy Gilmore 2's coming.
Happy
I
Gilmore.
I tell you what. Now I totally understand now. Because thanks to the Comic Menu podcast every Tuesday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. I understand. I'm understanding because from a guy who reads everything, I'm understanding the concept now. It's starting to get. Thank you, Brian. I'm starting to get it. It's starting to click.
Mhm.
That what Earth is this? Earth X?
It's I don't know if they're actually said anything yet. It looks like it would be Earth X maybe, but I don't know if they're gonna do like an actual number like 616. All we know is it's not the normal reality.
Right.
So
So-
everyone bitching about stuff should chill out.
And it would
Right.
really be
So
interesting if it's
right.
an Earth X thing too, like straight out of Alex Ross type. You know what I mean? That would really be really dope. Like really dope.
But what I'm learning is that this world, and there's no spoilers if you know the comics, if you read if you're as much of a reader as I am, that this universe, this world is not going to be lasting very long. So there's going to do a massive segue into Silver Surfer that we know.
Norn Red.
The Norn Red, right? Something's going to happen at the very end where she's going to pass on something and to the Fantastic Four. And they're going to teleport to the 616, and they're going to
Right.
meet the
Well,
Silver
there's
Surfer.
a massive rumor going around. I don't know if it's a spoiler because it's a rumor, but the massive rumor is that the variant Silver Surfer, who is Norrin Rad, is looking to save Franklin Richards. Like his whole point in coming is
Yeah.
to. This is the rumor
I've heard that.
that he's there. It's brought in because obviously she's pregnant, and Franklin Richards is very important Nexus type being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very super powerful type Nexus being, and which would lend credence to, and this is my own theory, that Galactus's whole purpose in coming to eat Earth in particular is because he's attracted to Franklin Richards. That's my own theory, though. That's
That's
what
not a
actually
bad- that's not a
brings
bad
Earth
theory.
to his attention.
Not a bad
This
theory.
could-
Especially when
It's
you look at their relationship in Secret Wars
right, right.
in particular. Yeah, Billy just said it. Perfect. Yep, Franklin
Yeah,
Richards was
Ken-
a key,
Wars without
key
Franklin.
piece
Right.
of Secret Wars.
That's
and she is pregnant in the movie, so it's all leading up to the right thing. Adrian, if you're still here, Dale is hanging out with the kids tonight.
He's hanging
He
out with
said
the
he's gonna-
funky Homo sapiens.
He's gonna
Like
be.
Dale's
He
too.
said he's gonna call you, Adrian. He said he wants to call you, get details for your Comic-Con.
Really
So
quick, though, I just wanted to say
Yes.
in reference to the silver Shalabel, I think I didn't really catch what y'all caught, and I have to go back and watch it. I just didn't catch it because the trailer just didn't. First of all, I love the trailer, but I didn't magnifying glass and fine tooth it. I just didn't. I just
Right.
watched it, shared it, and I should go back and do so. I will say that my expectations for Silver Surfer are pretty much an open book in that I don't think the quality of the silver that we get from Silver Surfer should be something we've ever seen anyway. Right? Like I think it should be like this ridiculously luminescent, shiny, almost absurd type alien type.
over the top.
Right, like over the top, created by a god, right? Like this over the top alien type metallic thing that is
Well, that's what we got.
foreign to what we are used to seeing.
That's
Right? Like if
definitely
we ever
what we
see a
got.
real alien on Earth, right? If it just pops up, it's gonna be something so foreign to us, right? Like something foreign to our senses because we've never seen it. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that to me is I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with it unless it's just bad.
I
CGI.
don't mind it. I don't mind any of it.
I'm here for it. I think we're all here for it. Let's be honest. We're all gonna watch it. I mean, I mean,
I think
who
that
doesn't
reaction
want to
took over so much, though, of the public reaction.
What a
Well,
great
Because
trailer
the
overall.
public reaction is
Yeah,
half based on people that don't know comic books.
true.
Well, now and I'll say it again. You guys all know how much I read, which is an abundance.
Yeah. Well,
Every night, I read my wife to sleep every night. So
we've been
the
told.
thing is that I even know that Shella Ball was and is. It was in the comics. She's part of it. She existed. What people thought right away is, oh, here we go, Disney
Yeah.
doing the old gender
Right.
swapping. We're giving
Mm,
Norrin Norrin Rad is going to be a female. Norina Rad, or whatever you want to call her, is going to be a female. And that's what people were like freaking out at. But for the true comic people, we're like, she existed. So they're not doing anything.
Can I take it
'Cause
a
they're
step
sa-
further? I keep scratching my nose.
Yeah, I know. Because who are you flipping off?
All of the people that you're talking about, and the reason why I'm saying that, and I don't want to be offensive, is because
I'll be
90% of these people screaming at didn't read Silver Surfer. Because
No.
nobody
There you go.
reads Silver
No.
Surfer.
Yeah,
Like, you just
nobody
didn't
reads
read. So
Or
if you
that-
did, Silver Surfer would have a comic book right now. Silver Surfer doesn't have a comic book right now because people didn't read Silver Surfer, and they just can't wait to show up and be like, "Not my stop it." There are some people who I know who think Silver Surfer is really cool, and they think he's so cool that they collect his covers, right? Because he's got tons
Right.
of plastic covers.
Mhm.
But
Sure.
the stories overall, go read Silver Surfer Volume 1. Silver Surfer is always better in other books and in like crossover events. Silver Surfer Black is the greatest
the
Silver
best.
Surfer story ever written.
Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
that's saying a lot, considering it's
Yep.
what, less than 10 years old?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, seriously. Y'all didn't read it.
Well, Billy, we were just saying that we think that it was not a finished look. They're probably saving that for the grandiose of the actual movie, but it's not the first time we've seen trailers where they skimp on the effects and
Yeah.
it does that doesn't bother me. I gotta be
Oh, yeah,
honest,
Infinity War was the worst. Endgame.
when it comes to what
Horrible trailers.
I gotta be honest, I hardly remember the trailers for Endgame. That's
They weren't
funny.
great.
Maybe that's what it was.
Considering what
right?
we actually got. And I know y'all know I hate those movies, but the movies were way better than what we got.
So, how excited are we in a collective to finally see the World Eater Galactus in his sort of true semi big form?
True form?
Well, he's bigger
well.
he's bigger than life, but we all know he could fluctuate to whatever size he wants.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of glad they didn't make him 6'2", like in like Apocalypse, right? I'm glad they didn't make him like 5'11". I like the fact that he's at least you see a big giant boot, walking around. So I'm here for it. I'm excited. Once again, I still not a big fan. I would have been okay of not seeing Mr. Fantastic stretching. I would have been okay to wait to see it in the movies.
I don't know why everyone was all hyped up about it. We all know what he does.
We all know how he stretches.
It's gonna stretch. Like that's what's.
Oh my God, he stretched. What do you think he
Exactly.
was going to do? Shrink? Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
The only
It's all the other stuff I want to see.
wows that you're gonna get are what does Silver Surfer look like, what does Galactus look like, and what did the Thing look like? Because no one's ever been happy with the design of the Thing, and now
I think
people
it's very
finally are.
underwhelming. The design currently.
Really?
Yeah.
The new one?
I think it's very
small.
comic accurate.
It's
but,
very comic
Thing
accurate.
himself is not
Except
like the
he's
most.
really small. It's much smaller than I would expect him to be obviously from what you see when you read the comics. He's just
Right.
smaller.
Well,
it also depends.
Again,
Again,
Fantastic Four.
let's go.
He's
let's
bigger
go
than
on
the
a
first two
different world.
Fantastic.
That doesn't change what I'm saying.
Go back-
It doesn't change
now.
that. No one liked the first. We're not going to say that the first Fantastic Four was great. It wasn't.
No, not the old movies. Not the old movies.
No,
I
Dwarf
mean,
is
the
saying.
old comics.
Yeah, in the comics, though, in scale, right? He's much bigger in comparison to the rest of the team than he is in this film.
Is he
not
just as
But think about how they scaled the Hulk in the movies. So you can't make him bigger than the Hulk.
Yeah,
See,
but,
he's only
but
6 foot in the comics.
you're asking, but that doesn't change that. I think he's underwhelming.
That's
In
I still
size.
think-
That's
yeah,
true.
I think his size is underwhelming.
Size, sure. I think design.
now?
It hits
Now
on everything for me.
I was gonna ask you guys, how big is he in the comics? Did they ever say how big he is in the comics?
Yeah, they just answered 6 foot.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah, so
broad.
it's
He's
not
big.
just the height. I don't think Ish is just talking about the height. He's also stocky and bulky and
Yeah,
wide.
that I'll agree. He's
Like,
like,
yeah, he's
just
like
massive.
wide.
That's what you're missing out of him, not the height, the
Right.
mass.
Let's just see the movie. Damn it, Ish. We'll go
No.
together.
I thought the trailer was dope.
So-
My criticism of all of the characters is I just
So
think
is he as
it's
big as the Hulk?
underwhelming.
No.
He's never.
No,
been as
you
big.
can see
never
right there.
been.
He's smaller.
But he's big. He's bigger than everybody else.
Well, this right here doesn't seem like he's that much smaller.
Well,
He's
think
not
about it. Why do you
tiny,
think
but he-
early on it was always Thing versus Hulk, right? Because our idea was these were the two strongest. Obviously, Thing is nowhere near the strongest, not even compared to the Hulk, but to most, right? But at the time, early on, we didn't have the plethora of characters that we have now. So it was always who
Thing
wins,
versus
Thing or
Hulk.
the Hulk. You know what I mean?
Ish over here already shitting in my Cheerios. I like the
6
thing.
feet, 500 pounds.
Me too. When I look at that thing, though, it was something that I said offline. I can't remember to who, maybe you, Sam, or J. Rob, but I was talking about how rounded he is, and I'm like, this is a character made of brick, right? Well, maybe not anymore, but the idea is that it was brick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's something. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for the movie. I'm not hating. This is so small to me. You know what I mean? Like this is really like such a small. I can overlook that. I'm not upset.
Nitpicking.
Right. It's just nitpicky. If I have to criticize, it would be the thing.
Okay. I'll give you that.
I tell you what, Billy just proved that he's close to about dwarf size, more or less.
See, now
I am
he has
not
every
6
right to
feet
come
tall.
at you.
Oh, okay. No, that's because I thought you were at least 5'9".
No,
I'm
Okay.
about 5'8". 500 pounds though, totally accurate. Thank you.
I know. I can totally see that. No, this is the other thing too. Is that so this is the way it's coming out in the theaters, right? So we're going Thunderbolts, Superman, and then Fantastic Four, right? That's the order?
Yeah.
in theaters.
Are
yeah.
we all? Are all of us? And I already know. I'm not even going to ask Dorf because I already know his answer. Are we all going to each one of them to the theaters?
I don't know about all, but I
It's
am.
always my attempt, but it's never the process.
I know it's a little tough for you.
I'm right there with you.
Ryan.
on that?
I'm there.
Oh, you
I-
also?
I just.
I
closed
know
the
you
shop.
are.
I
closed
try
the
to
shop
go to
and
as many as I can, but I have not. Like I didn't make it to Cap.
I didn't.
Because I know Dorf tries to go like that night or the first day, and
I'm going to all three
he's
of them.
that guy.
I used to be a
'Cause
midnight release person, and it's hard now.
Comic Sense is paying for me to go. I'll go by myself. I sit in the
There you go.
handicap section in a handicap seat.
It's just
It
like
doesn't
every time.
invite me to go, so that's why
Say
I don't
again?
go. It
Hmm?
doesn't invite me to go. so I
because
don't go.
because I literally when I go there, I get the floor row. I ask for the handicap section, the handicap seat, so no one is next to me at all. Because I don't want people saying things like, "Well, in the comic book, I'm not there." You know what?
you want to be able to do that yourself.
To myself, like yo, I want to be able to argue with myself. Like, yo.
Hey, Ish, if I was to go with you, Ish, would you make me also sit in the handicap, or will we
You
sit
sit wherever
regular
you
seats?
want.
He wants
It's
you to
not next
go.
to
You
me.
get the senior citizen discount, bro.
It's not next to me.
You
Ish,
son
if
of a
Caesar
bitch.
is there with you, he won't be able to say. But in the comics, this happens.
Yeah,
Because he has no idea.
We don't read that shit.
But he might be like, "Yo,
Touche.
Ish, what about
Touche.
the
That's
comics?"
perfect.
No, it is true. I would be bugging Ish like I bug my daughter when I watch Harry Potter.
Hey,
So
hey.
is that in the book? So is that in the book?
Yeah.
It's interesting, Ish. That would suck though, because I would want to sit next to you, because I would want like real time reaction
Mhm.
of stuff that I see. I don't want you down the aisle go, "Hey Ish, what'd you think about that? Is that in the book?"
And that's
You
why
know-
you sit by yourself.
Yes, because you don't talk about movies in movies.
You son of a bitch.
It's like going to the movie with a woman and they look at you and be like, "Why did he
Oh,
do
God.
that?'t And you're like, "Yo,
Man,
you're
well, you're
watching
being
it
So
with
bad.
me.
Yeah,
How
just
can I?
wait
You're-
and watch.
Why
you're
did
going to
they
be
do
canceled
that?"
so quickly. You were
No, I'm
canceled
sorry.
3 times
It's
already.
the truth. Listen, no
I'll
offense.
co-sign
I
to
don't
that.
even mean to
Cannon
be
does that shit to me.
Everybody knows. There's
Can we have a
nobody in
running
here.
tag of
Even the
that?
women in here will co-sign
For
that.
the
They
show?
do that. You be watching a TV show together at the same time. It'll be completely new to both of you, and she'll always be like, "So, why did they do that?" And you're like,
Here's my answer. It always works. Let's watch and find out. Because I don't know either.
Let's find
And
it together.
to women's credit, I'm gonna give women one. We're the ones that we always lose stuff that's right in front of our face. all over the house. The guys will literally.
Right, that's true. That's true.
We lose, and they know, like, it's right there. Where? Like, yo, where?
That
It's
is my
literally right-
favorite.
of you.
You open up the refrigerator. Where's the mayonnaise? Right there. Where? I don't see it. It's on the top shelf. Where? I looked all over the top shelf. Okay. You didn't look.
Nope.
Right there.
My wife loses everything, and I'm the one who finds it. Completely the opposite in my household. Completely the opposite. And it's not my wife who
Well-
asks, why are they doing that in the movie? But my daughter, it doesn't matter what we're watching. It doesn't matter what it is. She will ask a million times, why do they do that? What's going to happen next? Why is it?
How
We're
old
all
is your
watching it
daughter?
for the first time. And the answer is always,
His daughter's
34.
by the way. Very cool.
34.
she's 12.
She's younger. She comes on the stream.
12. Yeah,
sometimes.
my daughter's 6, and she's in that mode now. And I go, what? This is the first time I'm watching it. We were watching WrestleMania. Well, what's going to happen? What do you mean? It's live.
Someone's gonna win.
It is
Oh.
live.
See, but in WrestleMania, I
should
tell her
just
what
like, they're
happened
gonna
before it
fight.
happened.
They're gonna fight.
I was telling her during WrestleMania what was going to happen before it happened.
Oh, well, smart Mark.
Smart.
I've
So-
been watching it for too long. I know.
Yep.
It was,
I mean, we're
nothing was surprising.
So so needless to say, we're all here for Fantastic Four. I am looking forward to it. I'm also looking
Fantastic
so-
Four. They should just
For
call it
Fantastic Four. For Fantastic.
night. I'm
Fantastic.
gonna try to go opening night for that, hands down.
Well,
I'm
the
gonna go
good thing
opening
is
day
that
at noon.
next month we have Thunderbolts. Sorry,
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, Thunderbirds, Supermensch.
You know what it
Superman.
is? You,
Oh my
know what
God.
it is?
Chalk another one up.
Yeah, age is
I-
catching up to you.
Yeah. Dale. I think Dale is like the ghost of Dale is catching up to me because I'm butchering every fucking word.
But yeah,
Makes
we
it
can
all
blame it
be
on
said.
Dell. He's not here.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Okay.
I'll say like these are like for me what stood out in the trailer was the sense of family that you really don't get in any other Marvel movie. But then between Fantastic Four, like you already see the relationships that people have criticized FF for in Marvel for the longest time. Like they're Marvel's first family, you didn't really get that they were the best or the most relatable family. I like the addition of Herbie. I think that's fun. And now with Galactus, we haven't had a villain like Galactus yet.
So he's not a villain, right?
It's gonna be well. I mean, we haven't had a threat like Galactus.
Stephen
What?
Strange had Dormammu.
We had Doom.
Not like an
He's not-
invasion style threat though. That's this giant. Like Thanos is different.
Dormammu, but I don't think the greater world was aware that Dormammu was coming.
No,
Right.
it wasn't like an
Right.
impending doom type situation where the public is aware and these heroes are tasked with publicly
Hey,
trying
we
to
were
save
this-
them.
we were
It's gonna
this
be a
close
different
with-
type of movie.
we were this close with the Celestial.
Where were we? Yeah.
This close.
We don't. talk about that.
Loki, but yeah, the Battle of New York, and when Loki brought an alien invasion.
That's
Yeah.
pretty big. That's pretty big. Let's be honest. When you have a big wormhole and shit coming out through it, big flying whales or how they were.
I agree
It's
with
pretty
Sam
much-
though that there was this sense of that wonder that you got back in the, for those who probably don't relate to this, when you watched a really good movie in the theaters in the 80s, like you got like when Gremlins first came out, or like E.T., like you got that feeling from this trailer that you're gonna really get something good. You know what I mean? I think they're going to hit all of the hokey notes, all of the campy notes that come with these popcorn sellers. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sure they're going to hit those notes, but I think we're going to get something different. So here's the one thing that I just want to drop real quick. I don't think many people consider that this is probably the most important movie from Marvel's perspective that they ever put out. This is the reason why they did the Marvel 21st anniversary edition covers. Not because it was 25 years of Marvel, but it was 25 years since Fantastic Four dropped. Marvel marks the Fantastic Four as a milestone. in their history. When they rewrote their timeline and they time slid everything to make it make sense, they started the timeline when Galactus came to Earth in the Fantastic Four Battle Galactus. That's the beginning of their timeline of from to present day hero activity on Earth. They started there, although there's obviously some Mariner, Captain America was before that, but they start the actual official timeline at the Fantastic Four facing Galactus. They say that was the first big threat. Kang was the second, right? So this is a big deal for Marvel. This is bigger than Avengers. It's bigger than Iron Man. From a Marvel perspective, this is Fantastic Four is the most representative of Marvel. It is the best representation of Marvel from their perspective, and I don't know that has been translated to the viewing public, to the critics. I think we're gonna see something in this film that lets us know, like, yo, Marvel really wants us to understand. You know what I mean? We're gonna get something that really sets it apart.
Well, let me ask all of you, what do you think will happen if for some weird reason it flops hard? Not that I think it will, because it would have to be such a terrible movie for it to flop and not make any money. But what would be the state of Disney or Marvel if all of a sudden this Fantastic Four just absolutely gets wildfire, word of mouth? Don't go watch it. It is horrendous. What will happen? I mean,
I don't think it would do anything like what it does to DC. DC, they literally just cut it and said, forget it, we're cutting our losses. Marvel has way too much history, the MCU, to do that. They might have to change and alter some of their future plans, but I don't think that it would do anything drastic to what's in the immediate future.
Yeah, I don't think it'll do anything. I don't pay attention. I haven't seen a movie in the theaters for a long time, only because of timing. And by the time it hits the theaters, like Cap, I really wanted to go see Cap. It was just bad timing on my part. One, and two is I got so sick and tired of hearing and seeing and bitching and moaning and this movie sucks and this is woke and this is this and this is this and this and this. I just lost excitement for it. So this, I've actually stopped paying attention. I don't look at shit. So I'm still looking forward to going to seeing this in the theaters. Hopefully it stays that way. But how many people actually go and look and track the records of sales and stuff? From the moment it comes out, people are automatically putting this movie's going to lose Disney millions. It's already flopping. It's already this. Are you tracking that? Are you actually?
Those who are, though, it's because they want it to fail.
Yeah, but they're spreading this information that makes it seem like it sucks.
I see it all the time. And my favorite, shout out to, I'm going to give it a plug. One of my favorite social media groups is the Comic Menu Podcast. Love it. They have a social media page. You guys aren't following it, you should be following it. And they put some very provocative posts in there, and some people get on it. What's interesting to me is, I kind of like to watch and track, because they have close to 100,000 people, so it's a small sample size of various different sentiments in regards to certain comic things, right? And you can kind of watch and track, and you can see yo, bruh, or bruh, you just came on here to specifically hate on this thing, and that's cool. But that's your thing. You actually came on, Caesar. We've said this. I've said this on your show a few times. Some things just aren't for me, right? And when I say some things just aren't for me, a couple years ago, show came on Netflix, She-Ra, Princess of Power, right? I was a fan, loved the cartoon, still enjoyed it very much. But a bunch of guys were really upset. Oh, they made her look like a boy. She's not wearing a skirt anymore. Not my She-Ra. It was never your She-Ra. It was never your She-Ra.
No.
You know what I mean?
Who says it's not my She-Ra?
Literally though. It was. Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Right.
It was yo,
and back and forth.
What I mean by that, when I say it was never your She-Ra, why take the time out of your life to be critical of something that is not for you and that you are not going to consume.
That's right.
Correct.
Like,
But
why?
But for views,
Yeah,
that's what the world is now.
It's
because
not
they
even
know
just
they'll get hit
reviews.
by
Exactly.
bitching and moaning.
It's the, do I get a thumbs up? Do I get an angry face emoji dropped on my comment?
It's a reaction. Yeah,
It's
you're
all
right.
they want is to be seen.
Like, I'm
And
never
that's-
going to watch Bridgerton, so I don't go on Facebook to every
I
I
Sure
love
about
when you bring
to
this
be
up.
like, yo,
You
I
know-
don't watch Bridgerton. I hate Bridgerton. That Bridgerton is whack. I will never watch. Don't waste your money on Bridgerton on Netflix, women who love Bridgerton. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna go find your group.
It
I
it
just
is true.
keep my mouth
It is
shut.
true. I've really adopted this saying that Ish came up with, that, oh, that movie wasn't great because it wasn't meant for you. Let's be honest. It was not your demographic. It was not.
No,
They didn't have a 53-year-old male in mind when they made that movie.
Right.
no.
So it's like, and if you happen to like it as a 53-year-old male, good for you. As a matter of fact, good for them. Everyone wins,
Preach.
right? But for me to go, you know what? That movie sucked. Get ready, internet. That movie sucked, says the 53-year-old man talking about a movie
Cracks
about
knuckles.
talking about a movie he hates that has to do with teenage girls having powers. You know, yeah. 'cause
Don't be
it's not meant-
hypothetical about it. Minecraft. I thought Minecraft sucked. My daughter, who it was made for, also was like, eh.
Mm.
So it just depends. But I personally did not enjoy anything about it. And I was expecting to be mildly amused because of who was in it. But
Yeah,
I also
had
didn't
no-
go
my
out
kids
there.
love Minecraft, and they don't have any desire to go see that.
Did it do well?
I don't know.
I think it did, right?
I have no idea. I'm sure with like little kids, it probably did great.
Mhm.
It opened fine, I think. I don't know how it's still doing, but it's still in the theaters now. 4
Yeah.
weeks
I don't know
later,
anything
later,
about
so-
Minecraft.
Listen, no offense. I'm an ally. No offense to the LGBT community. I don't want y'all to take this no type of way when I say this, because I'm going to say some things really quick. Yo,
Cancel button.
what happened to men? And I need to understand this, because you have this men that are so anti-woke, and okay, if you want to choose to be that, that's cool. That rather than see women, which I prefer to look at, you want to see half-naked, muscular men running around with machine guns. Like, that's all you want. Like, that's it. That's all you want is that. Listen, I don't mind seeing Gal Gadot. I don't mind seeing very good-looking women on my television screen next to men. I don't have a problem with that. And
Ish,
I'm questioning some things. Go on.
I'm with your point. I just don't know how we got from Minecraft to that.
No, because I'm just talking about how, the things that people are really critical of. And it's like, yo, not you at all. But they're really critical. Oh, it's woke. They put a woman in there. Oh, we got to see strong women. Oh, strong. She's strong. Oh, why she got to be strong at the expense of the guy? Sometimes you got to punch the guy in the face. Sometimes the guy is a bitch. Clearly, you're a bitch.
Yeah, because I was gonna say,
That's why
because
Captain
clearly there's
Marvel-
some bitch ass males out there.
Yo,
Captain
Listen.
Marvel was trashed, and Brie Larson has been trashed for exactly what you're saying. It's the stupidest things in the world. In the
And I
comics,
like
she's
that
one of
movie.
the most powerful superheroes, period. Even
Period.
though she's a woman. What's your issue? I am right there with you.
they trash She-Hulk. Why? Why?
'Cause they
Oh,
don't
I
have
trashed.
nothing better to
I
do.
trashed
No,
She-Hulk because it was.
I know why you
I
did.
trashed it because it was bad. It was.
What
just
I'm
a bad
saying
show.
is any show that came out, there's who listen. So Marvel has an entire pantheon of superheroes that they put out. They put out teams, they put out Thor, they put out Captain America, they put out Ant-Man, right? Years ago, I said, yo, I thought She-Hulk should have been the first movie before Captain Marvel, because I thought she was the most recognizable female superhero in all of Marvel. In Marvel, why would you not put out a movie starring one of your female stars, right? You have who's more recognizable at that time, mainstream, that's not Storm. It's She-Hulk.
Rogue.
Captain Marvel, She-Hulk's had plenty of series. Captain Marvel would be next. That's it makes sense. So for the hardcore fanboys who show up to these movies, but they don't want to see a Captain Marvel movie, they don't want to see a She-Hulk TV show, who would you want to see? Or is it I just don't want to see no female lead a movie, period?
So here's the only thing that goes against what you're saying right now. Jessica Jones. Jessica
She's
Jones
not
came
she's
out.
not recognizable.
No, I know. But no, like, there was no negative stuff about that female-led thing. There was only one. The only one that everyone was like, okay, cool. And they just went with it. People who knew about the character, people who didn't know about the character. So I'm not saying that it was because of, it was just, it's a weird outlier, because I agree with you. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman is like the one that clearly no one would have an issue because it's Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you want to say.
Know
it
what,
is
though?
one of the biggest superheroes.
Scarlet Witch was another show too that people received very well.
I think.
Yeah,
if
but
they
that's a
did
show.
Jessica
Like,
Jones
I think
again,
movie is different.
we'd
Well,
hear
Jessica
it.
Jones is a show.
Correct. I think
Right,
movies are different.
But
Movies
Scarlet
are
Witch
on
also
a
had
bigger
been
stage.
introduced. People were also already emotionally invested in the character of Scarlet Witch.
Right. Well,
So-
that's the
but-
thing, right? From a movie perspective, you got Black Widow, you got Captain Marvel,
And
and
Miss
both
Marvel,
of them got
right?
crapped.
Or
That's
Captain
what I
Marvel
mean,
too.
Miss Marvel. Both
Yeah.
of them got crapped all
But-
over.
But
Yeah.
but I think
True.
we might be missing a key point here, and I just looked it up. Jessica Jones came out in 2015. Okay, 2015. People still weren't shitting on the certain characters like they do now.
That's what I was going to say. It's gotten worse.
20
since then.
It's gotten way worse. But 2015, it was just still the entertainment part of cool. We got Jessica Jones.
We got something.
She's a badass. She's strong. She's doing this. Oh, look at we got Luke Cage involved.
It
Oh,
was
we got a
right
little
around
bit-
that time they shat on Iron Fist. Just saying.
Right.
That should
All
Didn't they
of
have this
that,
conversation
because Iron Fist
like
was really woke.
the other show on another show where we're like the public in general has become
Dwarf caught
so
that.
critical where they can't enjoy anything now.
Right.
I didn't want to watch woke Iron Fist.
I dug Iron Fist. I thought it was cool.
His joke didn't land the first time, so
blonde
he-
hair. I wasn't,
Hold on. Let me move him down.
Poor Finn Jones. He was like, just give me a chance.
No,
He said it. He like tweeted it out
I
recently,
know.
I think,
I
right?
reposted
Give me
it.
a
Like,
chance.
nah,
I'll
bro.
prove everyone wrong. Give me
Nah,
good
bro.
writing.
You
No,
got
that's like
fired. You flopped
got-
because they couldn't get you to work out. You wouldn't take any mark. Like all these things that he didn't do for the role that he wants a chance for.
Yeah, no, give him a chance to pass the mantle off to the next Iron Fist.
I tell you what, if Jessica Jones came out next week,
I'd love it.
It'd be shit
the
on.
hate would be tremendous compared to when it came out in 2015.
It
Because
There was
the
no hate
time-
when it came out at first, though.
No. What I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. There was no hate in 2015. You
And it
pop it
wasn't
in
great.
now, people will be shitting all over it.
Yeah,
but
The
again-
time has changed. The times has changed between 2015 to 2025, where
So-
people have been more brazen when it comes to the shit talking.
With their FU.
You're not
It's-
wrong,
it's-
Caesar, but they're shitting on everything now.
Yeah, because
What
it's cool to do.
What Ish was kind of saying at first was about how they purposefully and specifically bitch on the female-led things. But people didn't give Captain America a chance. They shat on it right away. They didn't
Yeah.
give Eternals a chance. There were very few, Shang-Chi was eventually well received, but I heard a lot of crap about that. Why are they making
There's
this?
a
No one wants
lot.
to see this. It ended up being a really well done film, so it got over in the end.
But they
But
hate.
It was
female
being
role.
shat on from the beginning.
They
But
hated the
they
female
did hate the
co-star.
female role. Yes, they did.
Aquafina,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only female that they can find apparently in a young age that is of Asian descent, because she is cast in everything of Asian background. Like, it's insane. There are other talented people.
I like his sister. But I mean, come on, you got to think about some of the stereotypes and the tropes, right? Like, and no offense, because I'm not trying to offend anyone. If I'm offensive, Sam, tell me. Like they cast Michelle
I'll
Yeoh
always tell you.
again.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
That-
it's like, come on. You know what I mean?
That chick's in any kind of flying Asian, they
That is
cast
true.
her.
She's
She's
been
in
in
it.
2 Marvel films as
She's
two
so
different
good.
characters.
She's
It's
so
two different.
good.
She's in the franchise
She-
twice.
They might as well just make a movie. This might as well just
She's
make a
not
movie
the
called
only person who's been in 2 Marvel things as different characters. But there
fair.
are others.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but I mean, she's actually in the Marvel movie universe, as she's in Guardians of the Galaxy, and in Shang-Chi, 2 different characters.
Yeah, they might as well just make a movie called The Flying Asian Woman and cast her in the all 3 movies because she's always flying in the air.
Great.
She can go over to
She's
DC
just
and be
flying in the air with the bow staff.
She-Hulk.
That's all she does. You know.
Well, the only other option they used already in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so they couldn't use her.
All right.
Oh, she's good.
Let's move on. So the report came on that they're going to they want to bring in good old Mace Windu. You know, they said, right, and this is something we noticed. He got thrown out a window 400 feet up from the up in the sky, but we never saw him die.
Right.
We never saw a body.
Yep.
You know,
Star Wars fans have been waiting for this for forever.
Except
let's be real. If Palpatine can stay alive through that fall, then Mace Windu can come back and beat some ass.
Yep.
Okay. Now this is
I can't speak to this because I haven't read them, but apparently he doesn't die in the books.
I haven't read the books either. I know there's a lore. I know there's that Star Wars lore where Mace Windu survived.
There's nothing canon about it, but every fan wants it to happen, but there's no confirmed death.
But do we want 90-year-old Samuel L. Jackson? Like, did you see him in?
I'll take Samuel L. Jackson in anything.
Invasion? I'm good.
No. Because what if it's old? Like he takes on the Yoda role.
I mean, he's been equal to Yoda.
No. But I mean, now he takes on like the older, like just mentor. He's not out there on the front lines. I think anytime you could get Samuel L. Jackson back in a property, I think it's huge. I think I read an interview with him where he said he got this advice from Bruce Willis, and Bruce said, "Hey, like find a character in a franchise where you can continuously like show up. Like I've got Die Hard, you've got Arnold with Terminator, all this stuff. Find yours." And that became Star Wars for him, like in different media and all that. But I would love to see him come back.
Excluding Shaft? I mean, there's been 2 movies, and there's probably going to be a 3rd.
Well, I'm not excluding Shaft. I'm telling you what he said about advice that he got, and he referred to Mace Windu as being that blockbuster franchise character that he could always go back.
Why don't they should have brought back the dude from Snakes on a Plane? Snakes on a Plane.
Listen, as long as he delivers the line, "Let's get this motherfucking empire off this motherfucking planet," we're good.
Hey, listen, I guess my question is, one, would he be better off on as a supporting cast? Maybe starting off on a TV show on Disney, right? On one of the shows or whatever he does, or Mace Windu, the 6-part episode or whatever it is, or a standalone movie. Does Mace Windu hold enough water to support a whole movie?
No.
No,
right?
If he's in a movie, he's going to be like a mentor to Rey.
Well, because
restarting
Yoda
the Jedi Order
to have a whole movie.
Correct.
Right? Like no one's marking for a Yoda. It doesn't work.
No.
It can. I mean, anything can work with the right writing, obviously, and the right, you know what I mean? But,
right.
Mace
Get these
Windu,
motherfucking Jedis off the plane.
Mace Windu is going to be someone who has to operate action-wise very, very, very sparse. And then, if anything, he's narrating his own story, right? So we get to see a younger version as well. Someone that can actually do some dope stuff.
Did they say live action for him?
You got to keep in mind his family created the greatest sword style in Star Wars, the greatest lightsaber style in Star Wars. Period.
Who?
Mace Windu. Who are we talking about here?
Samuel L. Jackson.
What are we talking about? Like we talk about Mace Windu, right?
No, I know, but
so
I don't.
Yeah,
gonna
the
drop.
Windu lightsaber skill is like the best. They created the top technique.
God,
I'm gonna drop some what I think are real facts, and I think most people would agree with. When it comes to Star Wars, you have the original trilogy, and then you have a bunch of things that quality-wise aren't there. And the only thing that was done that
Bottom.
really hit, hold on, that really hit quality-wise was Rogue One, and now you have the little spin-off show of Rogue One that has also been received really well of Endor. So the only things that have come out and really been produced quality-wise, I think overall from Star Wars, that have, live action, not talking cartoon stuff, has been those things that aren't based on existing stuff.
He's
It's
still
a
not on the bottom.
separate. It's a new story that goes off on a new
He
tangent.
just
So
glossed over Mandalorian.
I was gonna say, yeah. What about Mandalorian? That
Glossed
kind
right
of
over it, like it wasn't
that
like
that
the quality
but
was.
there-
refreshed it all.
but it's another example of something that isn't the same. It's not taking one of those characters that they threw up in the prequels and doing it. It is literally a new story that went a different way, and that was, you're right, Mandalorian was also good, but it's not. Mace Windu was introduced in something that was not really well done, and the other things that have followed that and have been tied to that have also not really been well done.
But I think where the love of Mace Windu is
I
coming
agree
from
with you,
now
Dorf. They are
is
canon though.
correct, but
I'm not arguing that.
his character was fleshed out in Clone Wars, which is where most of our content now is starting to get drawn from. You look at the popularity of Rebels and Ahsoka, like Mace Windu is heavily featured in Clone
And that's
Wars.
the thing.
And
I'm sorry. I just want
no,
to say,
yeah, you're good.
There's a happy medium between what Dorf is saying and what you're saying. Dorf, I think you're missing that because Dorf, you're speaking specifically live action, and the reality is the overall canon has to include the animated because it's actually a part of it. And I know that for you, maybe that's not so important because it's not for me. You understand what I'm saying? But that's really where we get the best Ahsoka stories, right?
But the
Where we get
reason,
the best,
that's
but here's the
Anakin
thing,
stories.
The reason those things are what's being popularized right now is because those people who saw those prequels when they were introduced, they're the one. Just like when
They
Ish is
watched the
talking
show.
about, Ish and I love to look at these like Strawberry Shortcake comics from things when we were kids and whatever.
Yep.
Because that's what we grew up with and we loved. So that's why those are the things that are hitting now. But that's that generation. If you came after them or before them, then it's not hitting for you.
except for the Clone Wars, because so many people go back and watch the Clone Wars. But
yeah.
Other than that, I agree.
But if you haven't been open to, and we talked about the impact of animation in like the Western world, right? Like, not many people are open enough to go sit there and watch 100+ episode show, even if it is Star Wars and some of their favorite characters, and add so much to Anakin and Obi-Wan and their relationship.
So many parents introduce their kids to Star Wars through the Clone Wars.
Correct. No, I agree with you. And with Dorf, like, it's being made for this next generation. And it makes me wonder, like, okay, where are we right now? You have so many people coming into the fandom because of High Republic. Did they rush the show? Probably. But maybe the folks who are coming in, who are younger, who are just getting introduced to Star Wars, and they've been intimidated by all of the lore and there was no good jumping on point, maybe we'll see that pop in the future. I don't know.
Every kid that comes into my store for Star Wars is coming for High Republic, Mandalorian, or Ahsoka. They read High Republic and they're watching Mandalorian with their parents, and then they want the books. But every kid
and I'm
from
all for all of that. The part that concerns me as the older fan is that I don't want I've wanted this universe to expand with quality since I fell in love with the original. And the stuff that I love and connected to is the stuff that's being left to the side and isn't being developed at all because these other things that are based off of this other stuff that didn't really hit for me. whether it was intended for me or not. And I don't want to be left out of the Star Wars future because it's all going this way. You know what I mean?
I think the thing for me in that respect, because I love Star Wars, like all facets of the universe. Andor is that, Rogue One and Andor, but I don't think you can do too much in that space because one, quality is going to suffer, and then
we're old
two,
AF too. We're the people who consume that are old AF.
Well, it's not just old AF, but also like how much more can you do in that space? And when you do push it forward into the future beyond Skywalker, I mean, granted, they didn't do it great, but we're going to move into Rey now forming a new Jedi Order, right? That's the premise of the future. Is that something, as an old Star Wars fan, that you're going to latch onto and say, all right, they're carrying on the story of the original trilogies and going forward? Or are we going to look at it? I don't know how I feel about it. I love Rey. Do I think the final 3 movies were great? No. But
well, think about it.
I don't know if they're going to be successful with this next phase.
If you take Rey away, and this is something I was thinking about. I'm sorry, go on.
I was saying I enjoyed Force Awakens. I just feel like they didn't know where they were going with it after that point, and it was very clear that they had no sense of direction. And where it ended,
I must listen. I must be a minority. I enjoyed all the fucking movies. I took it for what they were, man. You know what I mean? Star Wars.
Misa
Star
like
Wars.
them all. Misa like
Misa like them all, right?
Did you also like Solo? Because Solo was absolute dog shit.
You know what? The thing is,
that's a real.
I can watch Solo like every once in a while.
You know what?
I don't disregard it, but I don't watch it a lot.
Solo was pretty.
Is
good.
it just?
I just want to.
Is it just because of
I like
Daenerys?
Kira.
I just want to remind you all. It was something I was thinking about the other day, and I don't know if you ever put it in this perspective. With the exception of the Rey storyline, right? We are talking about a successful movie franchise, television franchise, cartoon franchise, where all of the characters are dead. They're dead. All of the main stars, they're gone. Like they're gone. The High Republic takes place how many years in the past? Like all of them people are dead, right? Yeah. Like all of the people from Star Wars, Leia, they're dead. With the exception of Rey moving forward, all of the stories that they tell in this universe are going to be stories where we know you could tell me you could put out another dope Rogue One movie, and I already know everyone in that movie is already dead. No matter how many more movies come from it, all the characters are dead. And that's the one franchise where they can continue to make successful properties where all the characters, 90% of the main characters in the franchise are dead. They're gone.
I'm gonna
do Darth Maul's show coming out.
And he's dead.
Out of Celebration.
It's a door now.
It's gonna be awesome though.
Ahsoka dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like these are dead.
This is my thing.
Alive.
Is she alive?
Yeah, she's
by the
alive.
time of Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't actually know.
Right?
It hasn't been confirmed nor denied if she's still around or not.
True, that's fair.
This is my
with Mace. Either
like
alive or dead.
The Ghost helped out, right, in Rise of Skywalker, but
Force
yeah,
Ghost?
nothing about Ahsoka. No, the Ghost, the ship. So you got some rebels.
I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to repeat what I just said 5 minutes ago. I enjoyed all the movies for what they were. Every single episode of every single movie that I watched, at one point I went and like, oh shit, that was cool. You know what I mean? There was a parts in there I was like, that was all right. You know, that was well done, or that special effect was top notch, or whatever it is. I enjoyed it. Yes. Would I watch it again? Would I watch Han Solo again? Probably not. Doesn't mean that I still didn't sit there and enjoy it. You know, all the Awakens and all the other bullshit people were talking shit about. At the same time, I enjoyed it. I was okay with it, man.
If your measure of a film was there a moment where I was like, oh, that was cool, then God willing, every movie you've ever seen has had at least one of those. But that doesn't mean
no. What's wrong with you?
I said hopefully. I said God willing.
I will say I never saw fucking Catwoman with Halle Berry and go, holy shit.
Was cool. That part.
That was a badass. Hell to the no. I never saw Madam Web. I never saw Madam Web. I didn't see Madam Web and go, holy shit, that part was cool.
Right.
You know,
like, come on,
said
man.
that when
part
Sydney
cool.
Sweeney came on the screen.
You son of a bitch. Wait a minute. Here, just put that guy down here. There we go. So, this is what I'm saying, and I think we're on agreement that Mace Windu will not be able to carry a movie by himself as a feature film. Mace Windu, right?
No, and I don't think that's their plan.
And I don't think there's a plan. I think he's going to be. I think he'd do great as a supporting role, and it would be best as either that in a movie or in a TV show on Disney Plus. You know, I would watch.
Suited for the Ahsoka Tano Mandalorian, that whole movie thing that they're doing.
Yes, yeah, sure, yep. The great
You got to concentrate the lightsaber on
he pops in on Ahsoka 2 season 2, and then he pops in the Mandalorian Grogu movie.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm cool with that. I'm perfectly fine.
Oh, that would make sense.
It would be awesome.
Like to pop in, do his thing, take off.
Die. He would have to die again.
Well, I will say I am looking forward to Endor, the second season, because I thought the first one was extremely well done. It was well written. Andor.
Oh, I thought you said Endor. I'm like an Ewok show.
No, yeah, imagine.
There we go.
I didn't enjoy the first season.
What?
You didn't enjoy the first one, really?
It's so.
I think it was very.
And just not my.
I enjoyed it. It was smart. It's good writing.
I don't like the main character.
I never made it past the first episode.
I don't like you. He's not likable.
He's not supposed to be likable.
Then you don't make. I don't want to follow you. That's the problem. Like, I don't want to follow your journey. I don't like you.
Was Han Solo likable?
Han Solo was cool though. This guy is really unlikable. Like, you make me not. Maybe not for the rest of the people, but for me, I don't like him. So I don't want to follow his journey. Like, I just didn't.
I respect that. I think that. For me, seeing how everything that we love came to be and have it just blend right into Rogue One and A New Hope, it's the story. I mean, they've said it when Mon Mothma is like, a lot of good folks died to get us this information. Like, it is that entire chapter of the story, and it's always been intriguing to me since I was a kid.
Either he was not likable to me.
That's because he drank Colt 45s when he was fucking.
I didn't like. He was
cool. We brought Lando. Cool, we brought L.T. Williams a Colt 45 at a con and took a picture with him with the Colt 45. He's such a cool dude.
He was a cool dude.
He's dead.
Yes, he was cool.
So this is my thing about Star Wars. I look forward to whatever they're doing next. I look forward to now. I won't watch everything Star Wars because I did not watch any of that Skeleton Crew with the kids, and I once again to this guy's point, it's not for me. I gotta be honest. The kids and Jude Law or whoever's in it.
I want to slap all of them kids.
I'm not interested at all. I saw the trailer. I said, nope. Looks like something would be on Nickelodeon. It's not my thing.
Right.
So I didn't watch it.
The main character is a bitch, like a straight bitch.
The Star Wars holiday special was definitely
the girl was a bully.
Yes.
I did not like her at all. She's just like straight bully. I did not like the main girl, and then the boy. I didn't get it. Like, everything they told him not to do, he just did, and got them in all kinds of trouble. Like, they're like, don't press that button.
Ish.
Oh, don't.
Ish.
Press the button.
Ish. You don't
bring
have
back bad memories. Ish.
Everything we tell them not to do, that's what they do.
Yeah, but his friends were saying, yo, we're going to get in trouble if you do that. And, oh, really? We're going to get in trouble? Okay, let's get in trouble. Like, he just, some of the one scene where he waits till they leave and he looks around and then just pushes the button like, are you serious? And then the girl, listen, I thought that the worst kid I've ever seen in a film was Tutu, the girl from Neverending Story, the princess. Atreyu. Oh, my God. I'd want to choke my television. And that little girl who wants to come back and play little Leia again. She just said the other day that she wants to play Leia again. The girl who
she was annoying.
She runs slower than molasses, but faster than everyone else. Everybody else on any planet, anywhere.
I like how you're still on that. We talked about this years ago.
I hate her.
Ish ain't letting it go.
He will not let it go.
I don't hate her. I don't
Yeah,
know
He will
her.
not let it go.
Yo.
She was annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Her character was extremely annoying. It was just I couldn't take
Poor
it.
kid.
Nobody can catch her. The
Apparently,
Jedi Master Yoda, who had to flip off of a building, a whole building, to just she runs slower than Dell.
What, isn't Andor tonight?
And yo, you could
it
not
might
catch
be
her.
tonight.
I think Andor's
Might be
tonight.
Andor
Daredevil's done, right?
Yeah,
Oh, sweet. Okay, great.
You-
I'll watch it
You're not
tomorrow.
gonna go
like the
watch
first
it.
3
You're not
episodes.
watching
or
No,
something like
I'll
that.
watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it tomorrow. Like Daredevil when it was on. I would watch it on Wednesday. Okay, so
Donnie,
the next.
if Donnie Yen shows up in Andor, I'll watch it.
So I want to move on to the last and final topic because we always and this show we can only really bring up 3 topics because that takes up 2 hours. Now this is the thing that I wanted to know. Why was Rogue One? Why was it so damn good? Was it the writing? Was
Yes.
it the casting?
No.
Or was it the perfect storm of everything together?
There you go.
Even though we did know what the outcome was,
Mhm.
right? But it was fun to see how they got there, right?
They died.
when-
Bruh. That was like dope.
it was right.
there's
They all
one
died.
There's one other thing. Because of how it was made and that it was this self-contained entity, they didn't have to worry about, oh, but what could happen after? The fact that they even made an Endor is like, I didn't expect anything to ever come from that again. It was so
That was it.
perfect because I knew that I was going in to see this one device that fits into what I already love, and they're not worried about how can this affect other things in the future. The future happened. We know what came next. We saw that and loved it.
And there
Vader
It
shows up, fucks it all up.
beautifully
and
into it.
you said it too. There was really no expectation. There's nothing written in canon on it besides we lost a lot of good people. You know exactly that, like, all right, something's gonna happen where a ton of rebels die. They get these plans off somehow, but that is it, and it leads to the chase in A New Hope. Like as
the
long as they could get you
coolest-
there, it was like just like let's enjoy the ride. I went in with zero expectations.
The coolest thing they did, and it got me, was when they meshed the ending of Vader going into the capsule and all that.
So
And it was probably one of the best cohesive melding of of new and the old, and they put it right in the middle. It was
Have
a
you
perfect
watched them in
sandwich.
order that way? Have you watched Rogue One and then the original trilogy?
No,
Yeah.
this should be interesting. Yeah, I should.
It's
Caesar.
Yeah.
so
Caesar.
beautifully
I'm
done.
gonna do what you've never
Perfect.
done, Caesar. I'm gonna do this for
What's
you.
that? Oh, you're gonna-
Forward, the Light Brigade was their Amandus made, not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There is not to make reply, there is not to reason why, there is but to do and die. Into the valley of death rolled the 600. That is charge of the Light Brigade. That is what Rogue One was, and that is why it is great. That poem, that story, that situation, that event inspired people, and what they did was they made charge of the Light Brigade. They said, you know what? We're going to tell the story of how they got the plans for the Death Star. We know that they died. So we're going to make it. It's literally recreating charge of the Light Brigade. You're sending these people, not ours, not but to question why, not to reply, but to do and die. And
Yep.
that is that thing that we all, not all of us, but many of us respond to. It captured a spirit of a thing that we respond to. We know, y'all aren't coming back from this mission.
Yeah, it's a suicide mission, 100%.
So what's the journey? What's the story that leads us into this charge? You probably never heard of Charge of the Light Brigade because it requires a lot of reading. Not that you can't read, but you don't read. You know what I mean? Like, I know you can read. I don't want to be that one dude who was on here that one day had you pissed. Like, yo, Caesar's about to fight people. Like, yo, he was like, yo, I think he's forever removed. Like, yo.
oh my god.
The dude came on and was like, Caesar can't read. Huh? Yeah, man,
Yeah,
we was all
yeah.
mad about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember that.
We was all
Actually,
pissed about
Ryan
that.
was on that show. That's right.
I
Matter
was
of fact,
also
both
on
of you
that
guys
show.
were-
Yeah, Dorf was
So
on.
were we
Ryan
all-
was on. Like, yo.
But I tell you what, man, whoever did Rogue One, the writers and all that, kudos to them, because whenever you talk to people, all the new heads, when they talk about Star Wars, oh man, it sucked. All this, like, except for Rogue One, there
Yeah,
will
top
always Rogue One is always the exception, right? And it's like you can't argue. I don't think I've ever met anyone who said you like Rogue One. Ugh,
I think it's a top
sucked.
3 Star Wars film
Of all the whole franchise.
of the whole franchise.
It's pretty damn good.
It's
man.
Empire
It's
Strikes
pretty.
Back.
For me,
Rogue
it's
One.
Empire, Rogue One, New Hope.
And it's tough because I never liked New Hope, but yeah,
I'm
Or I could,
pissed
like,
off
interchange
that you
Rogue
guys
One,
said
New
Battle
Hope.
for Endor.
Return of Jedi is just so bad.
As a kid,
What-
Return of the Jedi was my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as a
'cause
kid.
we didn't
What-
know any better.
Right? Right?
What did you say, Ryan? I didn't hear you.
I said I'm pissed off that no one said that Battle of Endor was one of the top movies.
And no one will ever say it.
Fuck you, Ish.
It's as bad as the holiday special, with no character that we ever remember. Remember the holiday special where the dude
No,
Wait a minute.
actually,
they
don't.
all got their special weapons, and the one kid got a rock. He's like, I got a rock. What am I gonna do? It's like 2 kids, his brother and his sister, zapped from Earth into the world of Star
Hold
Wars.
on. Battle of Endor. I'm lost. Am I
It was
missing
an
something?
Ewoks movie, dude.
Ewoks.
Television movie.
The Ewoks Adventure, and then the Ewoks Battle for Endor.
Son of a bitch, man. That's some bad stuff. All right, this is my last thing I want to talk about for the next 45 minutes. I want to talk about the comic book market. People are still doing claim shows, whatnot, Facebook, all that stuff. Where are we now that we're in 2025, April 22nd? Where's the market now? This is really good. This is really good topic because Ish, who has a brick and mortar, Comic Sam, who does whatnot. Then we have a creator and a publisher of his own stuff with Ryan. Then you have Dorf. The thing is that I want to know: have we plateaued? Are we in that, or is it? Have you noticed books still dipping? People still want. I get it. People want everything for free. I understand that. It's the way it works. It's always been like that. But is there starting to be an uptick? Are people going like me, for example? I'll give you a prime example. I have a Dorf and I talked about it in the green room. I have a TOS 41, third appearance of Iron Man. Okay. It's a low in the 40s, Tales of Suspense. People basically don't. They're like, yeah, I'll take 200 for it. I'm like, I'm not going to sell for that low. But GPA last sold was 222 in March. I'm like, that's fine. But if you go right now on eBay, good luck in trying to find a 4.0 for under $400 shipped. So whatever the anomaly, whoever bought that for $222 does not mean that I'm going to let it go for $222. But that's the thing. Is it just going to sit there? And I go, well, that is $200 I could put towards a grail, whatever it is.
If you're in the market to lose silver, bronze, copper, right now, you're in the market to lose money because people aren't paying what they were paying in 2020.
People aren't paying what it is.
Silver, bronze, and copper right now. They're just not.
Now.
You know
So that's my question. So where are we at? Are we this?
It depends on that. There's multiple answers to this.
Yep.
Because if it's the right key, if it's a real significant key, they are holding, and some of them are actually going back up slightly.
Correct.
Yeah,
But
but
it
people
has
aren't
to be
buying
the
them.
right keys.
That's the
What?
thing. People aren't buying them though.
No. Showcase 22, my first Hal Jordan, my favorite character. That book has actually climbed.
Climbing. Yep.
And people aren't buying it. What I mean is,
No,
you're right.
people-
You're right. But what I'm
people
saying
are.
is like if you came to me with a Silver Age collection, I'm not going to give you what I gave you in 2021. I'll just pass.
No. It's not going to compare to. We can't compare to the bubble. The bubble. We're not talking about the bubble. We're talking about things that have dropped since the bubble.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is things like that. Things like X-Men 1. Those are
Plummeted.
they plummeted, but now they've not just plateaued. Some of them are starting a small bounce back, not a huge bounce back, but they are starting to go back up a little. But only those major keys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gotten some Silver Age stuff in recently, some Copper Age stuff that I've moved at the 12 month GPA, and that's where I'm going for my price. And some of them, that is less than the 90-day or less than the last sale, because just like Cedar saying, I'm not using that outlier as my base mark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind if I'm taking a little bit less, but the person feels like they're getting a deal and I'm in a right area. But if it's not a major key, like that is a tough book in Caesar, and I talked about this because it's an old book, it's an early Iron Man, but there's no major key to it. So unless you're this person who's obsessed with early Iron Man, and I just, especially in the old costumes before he went red and gold, like that's the reason you'd be driven to that book, not because of anything else. And that's why you're gonna have a tough time trying to find that.
Or you're one who's failing. You're failing a run. Those people like who just collected this run.
Right,
but
a book just can't have
people are
value.
so
It has
much-
to be collectible for a reason or another.
They're so much fewer and far between. Than I have an ASM 129 6.5 that's coming in. I'll be able to move that. I'm not going to be able to move it for what it moved for 2 years ago. But because it is still a significant key, I'll be able to pull roughly what 12-month GPA is on it without much effort.
Right, but again,
we'll
that's what I
find
said.
out
If you're
the
smart
books
to
that I
move that stuff,
see-
you're just gonna lose. You're not gonna make what you made before. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
won't.
You're just not.
But
That's
the books
just the
that I
reality.
see growing are the books that you go way before the bubble, the books that held value and were steadily growing. Those are now the books you see steadily growing again. They're not
And it's interesting because
they're
people
not the
are buying
Bronze Age
modern
books.
now a lot.
There is a lot of modern buyers, but I think modern, and if we move into talking about the state of modern and then versus the state of these blue chip keys, like it's completely different.
Mhm.
Like you see the traditionally strong books starting to creep up and grow now. You've got Golden Age pre-code horror is setting records right now. You've got, I mean, Golden Age everything is strong. And then the silver keys, you know, your showcases, Showcase 4, Showcase 22, AF-15, Hulk, like they're still doing FF. They're doing really strong, but
not in the collector community either. These books are not being bought by comic.
No, yeah, they're just being bought. But X-Men is a good example. X-Men was the weakest of every single, of the Marvel Silver books.
Daredevil.
That has gone down, and it's kind of stayed down.
Daredevil was the weakest, followed by X-Men.
4.0 X-Men after the bubble was like 15K, and now you're back down under 7.
10.
Yeah, you could get yourself an
crazy.
affordable. You could get yourself a lower grade X-Men for a pretty decent price compared to.
Now's the
It's
time to
crazy
buy
because
X-Men
Daredevil was the
one,
weakest, and
if you're a
Daredevil
believer.
bumped, and now Daredevil's down again.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think Daredevil has some of the show hype on it right now.
Right.
But I
yeah,
still think
Go on.
Daredevil was one of those books that is always sought after because it doesn't come up that often. It just you just don't see a Daredevil book come up as like you do a 181.
It's interesting because there are a ton out there in higher grades as well. Like
Daredevil's
probably more higher grade Daredevil number
64,
ones than
right?
any of the other issues that's contemporary with it. Like you can find 7s of that, plenty of them.
I mean, your Bronze Age
you're right
books
though, because
aren't rare. They were heavily printed.
Daredevil number 1 is in bronze.
No, I'm not talking about. But if you're comparing it to like ASM 129, Hulk 181, like the values are there just because the demand for the characters there, but they're not growing. Like Dorf said, like you could sell for GPA 12 month, but is it skyrocketing? No, I don't know
that's
if
the
we'll
reason
ever
why
see those heights
the
in
most
these
valuable bronze
plentiful
copper
runs in a while, for a long time.
I think the most valuable bronze copper in high grade is the House of Secrets, and that's because, speaking to your point, that's the hardest one. There's tons of Hawk 181s, right? There's tons of Ghost Rider, first Ghost Riders. There's tons of first Moon. Exactly. Exactly. That's why.
Important.
Yeah, that House of Secrets is. I mean, it's Swamp Thing, and it's really tough because again, like you said, the bronze copper. There's not a short print run on it. right? There's a bunch of Marvel Spotlights, right? There's a bunch of Werewolf by Nights. There's a bunch of Hawk 180. There's a ton of Hawk 181s. There's a ton of Giant Size X-Men. Like you go down the list of those important books from the Bronze Copper era, and there's tons of them. You don't find tons of House of Secrets. You know what I mean?
That's a book. That's a book that whenever you see on a claim sale, it is gone.
Yep.
Within minutes.
I love that.
Now, let me tell you what drives me crazy. I want to upgrade my 5.5, and the reason why I don't, and this is this falls under this category of why people don't buy certain things, because they all have the idiosyncrasies of the mind. I have that 5.5, but on the label it says detachable cover. I'm sorry, detached centerfold. Detached centerfold. Okay, it's in a case. It's there. It's not missing. It's in the. You're not going to see it, but it's detached. There are people who be like, "No, I'm good." Okay, I guess those are the ones who want to crack it, right?
No.
One day maybe crack it and maybe try to bump it or whatever.
Nope.
Or is it? What is it?
It's just I wouldn't. For my personal copy, I don't think I would want it.
It's just being finicky. It's literally a personal preference that you know.
I don't want a purple label, a green label. I want a blue label.
This is
the
blue
book
label, right?
is the way it was when it came. I don't want any of those things. I want missing staple or rusted. Like I don't want any of that crap. I just want to show this is my book and this is my grade.
So here's the thing.
That's how I personally.
This is something that I try to tell people. This is something that I try to tell people when they look at grades and graded books, right? Like, so you take a 2.0. Not every 2.0 is a 2.0 is a 2.0 is a 2.0, right? So like, you know, there's different reasons why it gets a 2.0, right? And a lot of the reasons that, you know, when I look at certain no grades or 0.5s, presentation matters, right? Why is it a no grade? Is it because the front cover is torn or the back cover, right? Is it color fade? Do the colors pop, right? But, you know, maybe this one, the color is gone, right? You know, some of those old reds from back in the day, especially in Golden Age books, turn yellow, right? They literally, I have a Planet Comics that all the reds are yellow, like no red at all. You know what I mean? It's just yellow. You know what I mean? Like it was yellow ink, even though that's what red did. So, you know, your 5.0 is not a 5.0, a desirable 5.0 to somebody. Yeah, it is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying to someone, you know, maybe for me, I want the 2.0 with the cover torn on the back instead of the front. You understand what I'm saying?
Remember that book I showed you, Ish, that I had? So yeah, one of my mantras is like collect what you love and buy the book, not the grade. I bought.
You're a grade snob.
I am a grade snob because that's I love a good presenting high grade book, you know. But here I'll give you an example and see what you think. If I offered you a Fantastic Four 5 First Doctor Doom 3.0, it looks like a 7, but it has 3 hole punches through it.
Where are the hole punches?
Hole punches?
Hole punch, like it was in a binder.
Like it was in a binder.
It was in a binder.
Also on the edges.
Boom, boom, boom. Like loose leaf paper, but it looks like a 7.0.
I take it.
I wouldn't want it.
See? And that's
I
just
wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want
what
it.
You love.
But I'd take it.
Well, yeah, you take it. But if it presented that well, it's in a slab for 3.0, but when you look at it, the corners are crisp and clean. I'll send you a picture of it.
But the holes are all the way through.
But the holes go all the way through the book. And because of that, CGC assesses the grade as a blue label 3.0.
Yeah, because it's got.
But when you look at it, it looks
torn
pretty much VF.
But every page is torn 3 times.
I bought this raw. I don't have it anymore, but I bought it raw. And when I graded it, I had no clue. Is it going to get a green label? Is it going to be, incomplete? And they graded it a 3.0. But this thing, it looked like, it was the nicest I've ever had in hand. But it was tough to.
It had hole punches in it.
but it was the nicest looking besides the holes. But it was so hard to move.
It depends. So, like I said, we were just talking about this. I had just recently had a GSX in, an ASM 50, and an ASM 15. ASM 15. I sold all three of them really easily because they were all low grade, but they presented beautifully.
Really well. Yeah. Yep.
However, if they had hole punches or something like that, I wouldn't have been able to move them because while they are complete, they're not complete to someone like me. And that would have been what stopped me. No. But what I'm saying, it still has a blue label, like it's a complete book, but it's not complete the way that I personally, for me, need it complete.
Well, there's a lot of people with the old low grade is better than no grade, right? Or low book
yeah, I
is
never
better
said
than,
that.
you know.
Well,
right.
It depends on the
a
book,
low
right?
grade AF15 is better than no grade.
When I made an offer.
I mean, there's
grade
a
of
huge
certain
Facebook
books.
group dedicated to low grade collecting.
I made an offer.
It's-
really?
It's massive. It is. There's so many people in the low
it's
grade group.
I made an
absolutely
offer
huge.
I made an offer on some Human Torches a couple months back, like 6, 7, 8, and like 13, and all of them had the so old corner stores back in the day when they took a book off the rack and took it out of circulation, they tore the back cover in half from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
All of them had that. We're talking. I didn't have no problem with that. These are golden age Human Torches.
These golden age books,
Like
right?
had no problem with that,
Right.
and I was gonna off the CGC all of that, and the seller changed his mind at the last second. They were all raw, and he was through J-Rob, and at the last second, listen, I had no problem. They were all gonna go to CGC. They had the straight tear, which was normal. It's just kind of normal for those books, and I have no problem.
No grade. No grading.
And I think
all raw.
I think any one of us, knowing the history and how those worked with those books, Golden Age Marvel and even Golden Age DC, I think we all would have been quite happy because we would have been able to move them.
Well, that's for me too. Like any Golden Age book, I think I'm okay with Resto. You're just not going to find them.
I'm not
I'll take
okay with
Resto
Restoration,
on a.
but I'll take the
Restoration
deal. I'll
on
take the
a-
corner store tearing the cover in half. I don't have a problem with that.
If I could get a Captain America #1 with Resto on it for a quarter of the price of a Blue Label, and it presents well, it's not trimmed. Trimming to me is where I would draw the line.
That's my problem with the King
That's
comics.
just for me.
Is they're
But
always
if there's
trimmed.
color touch or whatever to restore Cap 1, I'm all about it. That's
See, but
history.
here's the thing: depending on what the resto is, I would just like you. I would take it if it's a resto that I could have removed.
I don't want any Resto on it. I want my Grail.
No.
My
That's
Grail
what I'm
of
saying.
all Grails is an
That's-
All-Star 8 and a King
But-
Comics.
But
But
when
if
do we
it's
get
the-
to the
If
point?
it's a certain resto,
When
you can send it to
resto-
CGC and have them remove the resto.
I mean, we're going to come up soon on 100-year-old books. When do we
And
get
at
to the
that
point
Resto is going to be
where?
necessary.
Well, exactly. When are we going to get to a point in the market where you look at restoration on a book like you look at restoration on a car?
Right, and we're going to get to that point.
We're going
gonna
to get to that point at some
We'll
point
get there.
So
Market
with
I'll-
Golden Age books.
I hold on. So I wanted to get a different perspective. So Ryan,
Yo,
you're doing your publishing. You're
Yes.
going to the cons. You're doing all that stuff. Where do you see? I mean, are people just having a hard time paying money for books, or is it?
it depends on what it is. That at least that I've seen. Of course, we still see, the dollar bin hunters, the bronze silver age guys. I don't hear a lot of them. Like listening to you guys with the grading and what people are collecting, I used to hear that a lot, and I haven't. I've heard more of certain people that are just trying to fill, their entire runs. They're looking for this book because, I only need these left for my runs. I haven't really heard over the last few years of those guys who are like, yeah, I'm trying to bump my Hulk 181 from this 5.0. I'm trying to upgrade it to the 6.0. They're kind of just sitting on what they have. As far as like modern has taken a weird turn. We still do really well on like Kickstarter and stuff, and I can move some stuff still on Whatnot, but we've had to shrink like print runs. People are looking for the more exclusivity books on anything, especially at cons. Like everybody used to do exclusives at cons, MegaCon, C2E2. Like every artist would have some sort of an exclusive. Every publisher would have an exclusive. Now it's only certain books these people are doing them on, and everybody's hunting for those same series of books. One that doesn't really ever change, Something's Killing the Children. When those books come out, you know, I've learned the print runs on those, like the variants on those are very limited. They only allow a certain amount of people to do variants for Something's Killing the Children.
Yeah, because of what happened with number 15 or 16, right? Was it 16
what's that?
Because of what happened with number 15 or 16, it was like 85. Which one was it, Sam?
16.
16? Okay.
85.
16 is crazy.
Like 42 or something.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't really see a problem with them having 82 variants. The only person that has the problem with that is your completists that have to have every single one. To me, that's a OCD, your problem, not my problem. That means 82 artists were working. That means 82 retailers were selling.
Fair.
You know, now I think they do like 12, if that, because I signed up to do the new run. And they're like, oh, they're extremely limited, so we'll get you online as one of the artists because we only allow X amount. And I was like, why? And they said whatever was going on. Something Killing Children always does well. You know, your certain Marvel books, your certain DC books right now because of the cartoon, like Invincible, with the upcoming Battle Beast. If you do a variant on those, you're pretty much golden. Anything else you do is a crapshoot. It could do well, it could not. I don't even do stuff for shows anymore. I'll like have some stuff. I do them afterwards because I've learned if you're not this guy's name and you're not on this book, no one really cares. No one's going after it. You're not.
You think it's oversaturated, Ryan?
No,
like the show variants.
I don't think it's oversaturated. I think people are just now two things. They're being a little more cautious with what they buy, without getting political at all. People are scared.
Yeah.
You know, people are still worrisome about the fate of whatever we're going through. So they're being a little more cautious on what they buy. And the other aspect of it is online selling, is Whatnot and eBay, FOMO.
Still.
The C2E2 was full of FOMO.
Without a doubt.
It was crazy.
As a seller on both, you know, I do a lot of projects. We just released.
I love FOMO.
We just released the G.I. Joe, the new Silent Missions. Like I did a Jinx cover for it. And they're like, oh, we're going to launch it at C2E2. And I was like, dude, just do it after. Do it after because it's going to get wiped out. No one's going to care. And sure shit, every day, every line was for Ryan Otley's Conquest covers. John Tyler Christopher's Venom and Mary Jane covers.
Yep. 2-hour lines or whatever.
Yeah, there was a good like maybe 8 covers that's what every single person was going for. Every dealer, every person, every collector, that's all they cared about. That's what they wanted. So everybody else was kind of like, oh, I did this exclusive and I sold like 5. So we do all our stuff for major shows like either the week before or the week after. Like Zerdy and I did a cover of a you know, just a Tinkerbell generic thing for Con Artist and Zerdy Girls, and he launched his like the week before C2E2, and I launched mine the week after, and was like, they did great, but if we had them at C2E2, we would just sat there, and it makes you kind of feel shitty.
Yeah, no, you get buried. It's 100%. You just, and that makes perfect sense to sell before or after, because everyone's already going to the con with what they're going to get.
Yeah.
They already know that we're going to spend 2 hours for this and this and this and this. And then you guys are like, hello.
Yeah.
You know, I got books over here too. They're like, yeah, but you know.
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was
Let's
really
buy and get to it.
strange to see the trend of what the FOMO was over for this C2E2. A lot of it was on those unauthorized Fame covers. Like, did you see how wild it was?
John did one.
I don't mind the Fame covers. Like I'm
I mean, it is what it is.
I'm actually working with a retailer on a couple things.
Cool.
I have two very, and it's my own opinion.
Ryan's in the
Yeah.
Listen,
No,
I love this,
yeah.
Ryan. Let's go, Ryan.
I'm genuinely curious about your take as an artist.
Everyone's gonna do what they want to do, you know.
I'm sure it's gonna get
and it's
do it.
I understand the Fame thing. Like I did the Taylor Swift, I did the Travis Kelce. I drew Taylor Swift on Travis Kelce's book. I did, Travis Kelce and his gear with just his number. That's all I had. You knew what it was. Didn't have logos, didn't have the team, didn't have whatever. It's gotten to the point on some of these where somebody was asking me for a cover and I was like, what is that? Somebody showed me and I was like, what the fuck book is this? And they're like, oh, it's the Fame Charlie Cox cover. I'm like, okay, then why is it just John Bernthal as Daredevil? Like, what is that? And they're like, oh, well, there's a panel where John Bernthal's in it because it's going over the Daredevil book. So we did him on the cover, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, all right. And to each their own. To me, it's like, yeah, I don't want that knock on my door of cease and desist.
Well,
So,
I don't
that was
help
one
a brother
of
out.
Well, what's a Fame cover?
I'm a little
The Fame covers are
live forever.
the Fame covers are
Learn how to fly every time you open it.
unauthorized biography books. And so they do them in a way they really can't get sued by it. They can't get, they do it in a way where it's legally allowed. They can do it, but people have now, once you do certain things, you're going to see how far you can take it. And people are pushing the limits.
It was pushed
on them. And I mean, to each their own. Like they're gonna do as much as they can before they get before somebody else.
I wouldn't want to mess around with
Is there something
that's my
Nintendo?
I'll do the
Disney.
covers, but I'm not touching certain things.
Is there
Like,
something inside the book?
what's that?
Is there like
It's like
story in the book?
like a biography of
a
whoever
biography
the creator or whoever the celeb or whatever is.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. There was a book for like the creator of Pokemon.
Right. The collector.
Yeah, and they called it Pocket Monsters, and but I mean the art was straight up Pokemon on the cover, which I wouldn't want to mess around with Nintendo. To each their own, But I think it's interesting. Like those were some of the biggest FOMO books, besides, like you said, the JTC and like the Peach Rivals, and
Yeah, I walked by, and
just
I mean,
a weird trend.
I get it because it's Pokemon. It's crossing Pokemon and stuff. So like the project that they have me working on, and it did take some convincing on their part to have me do it, because I was like, I'm going to do this my way. Like you guys either take it or leave it, because I'm not just throwing these characters on the fucking cover. But that's what some of those other ones. I walked by that booth you were talking about, and there was a good 24 of the whatnot retailers and eBay guys that were like, I need 10 of those, and I need 10 of those, and I need 10 of those. And I stopped and looked. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and
that's the reason.
Each of them sold for like 100
because it's
plus
Pokemon
on a stream.
But that's the reason why Ryan was talking about being stuck with stuff when you go to these cons, and why they're doing so many less of them, because the reason Ryan stopped doing and other people did was all of the people who were like these whatnot streamers and whatever who were buying a bunch of things, and the ones that were hot. I mean, the absolute Batman from freaking NYCC that was selling upwards of $400 was insane. But for every one
Oh,
of
the
those
Akira.
that people did really well, right? For every one of those that did really, really well, there were 750 other books that just sat.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that people didn't move. So
Yeah.
the artists, the people who produce their own, the local shops who produce their own, they were getting stuck with all these books. That's why I get the annoyance of it, because you want to do the Something's Killing the Children book, but that's the reason why they're limiting it, because otherwise they're going to be stuck, not being able to move books, and it's not going to be,
Right.
it's not going to have that market that it does right now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Yes, we know that. Come on.
And I'm really grassroots, and I'm really, as Sam can attest to, I'm really set in certain ways. And I'm saying this to say, because I'm listening to Ryan talk and I'm listening to Dorf talk, and like I've never been. You'll get what I'm saying, Sam, in a second.
No, I know.
I've only ever been to local cons. My local cons here. I've never been, for as long as I've been around comics, and I've never been to a major con. I have an aversion. I've been invited. I've considered it. I have an aversion.
I'm gonna get you to one-ish. I'm gonna get you to one. We're just gonna kick it.
The problem is, and that's the way it would have to be for me, because when I tell you, like, I'm so not a stickler for conventional things, like I'm really not, like, and I'm not. And the whole idea behind cons and what I'm hearing, it just sounds like a meat market for. I'm not talking about the artists and the people who are there, but I'm talking about, and I'm not even talking about just Joe, who decides I want to go to a con and have an experience, right? I'm talking about retailers.
Oh yeah.
It just
100%.
seems like this shady, you go to a gun show and you buy like a bunch of, I need this and I need 10 of these and I need 50 of these and I need 20 of these, so I can go to Whatnot and I can go to eBay and I can mark it up. And the reason why I have an aversion to it is I call myself Robin Hood, right? And I call my company, we bring the best value on the unfair market. You know what I mean? So just hearing him say, yo, I need 10 of this and I need 10 of that, to know I'm going to go see it on eBay or on Whatnot,
right,
marked up hundreds of dollars. I have a real problem with it. Like, really, really, it makes me feel some type of way. You know what I mean?
And
like, it really makes me feel.
So here's what you're missing, though, about these cons specifically. Because 100% what we're saying and what you're talking about, that exists.
Yeah.
But I spent time with Ryan at NYCC this year. It wasn't a lot of time. I mean, my daughter and I were running around. Like, we got to spend that time. I got some books from him, whatever. There's enough. Not enough. There's the majority are people like us, like you, who want to go there, experience the con, meet the artist, get to do these things. And then you have those people who are just trying to make every buck that they can. Don't get me wrong. I buy some things that I want, and I get a few other copies of things that I like that I know I'll be able to sell afterwards. But that's not why I'm there. It's not my driving force. I'm not coming out with 10 of this and 20 of that and this. That's not how I approach con. That's not how the majority.
I'm not even speaking about like you, Dorf, because I know.
No. What I'm saying is that's not the majority of people there. That's those sellers. That's those streamers.
That is true.
That's those people who they think, if I don't do this, I'm not going to feed my family. I'm not going to. So I got to cut everyone's throat to get what I want and sell it for as much as I can.
Ish, I would love for you to come to NYCC with me. There's a mixture. Like, was I in line to getting elbowed for a Peach Momoko spawn? Yeah. As a 5 foot, like, nothing, like, tiny guy.
I'm not
that
just
was
gonna be
wild.
elbowed over the counter. Like, you already know. Like, it's not even.
Dude, it was crazy.
And Ish,
but at the
you
same
already
time,
know the fights broke out, so don't worry.
Say again.
Every Marvel panel and like enjoying what was getting announced and learning about the future of these stories. Yeah. And there's a space for all of it, but there's definitely stuff like that going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about like selling modern books, and that was the issue at hand. If we want to talk about like cons and stuff, that's a whole different show. We can get into that.
You got 3 people who were at NYCC last year you could have hung with that are not those people.
Yeah, that's just the trend I see as far as like sales at cons. I can tell you from 3 years ago, like our website on any of our new exclusives, like if I did, Ninja Turtles, or if I just did a Persuasion cover with, like Mike DeBalfo, and we're like, hey, I used to do Persuasion bi-monthly, just random variant covers through the pandemic, because no one was working, no one was hiring anybody. And I was like, oh, well, me and Nathan, like, we did a cover and we did fucking great. So who needs work? Like, let's put you on a cover and let's sell it. That's and awesome. Then it's still, even after pandemic, it worked. Like, we would still do every 2 weeks, we'd have a different artist doing a different cover, and we'd sell, crazy amounts of them. And then it started slowing down last year, like to close to nothing, because people were scared during election year. And it's still that way going on with what we're all going on. I can still sell books at cons. Our website does a lot less because people are now having fun with the eBay lives and the whatnots. It's not just a buying experience. It's I'm going to stop you from buying this book. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to outbid you. And I tell people, like, hey, don't, like, I have multiple of these. So, like, don't fucking go crazy. Yeah. If there's only one, like when we do sketch covers, I'm like, all's fair. Like, you guys go for it. If it goes crazy high, it goes crazy high. But if it's something that I have 50 of them sitting here, like, relax, okay? We're going to do more. But they enjoy that interaction. They enjoy that auction style thing. So people would rather buy on those. It's weird-ish. I would rather just buy from a website.
Stream. Somebody had a book in their store that nobody cared about. And when I asked him to run it, all of a sudden, it was like Barbie, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, all right, you know what? Yep. I'm not about to bid. You're at 20. I'm not doing that. It's like a $4 book. I just needed the Barbie. Weird. You know what I mean?
It's like, all right, it's so weird, and it depends on people's streams. Like, I do a lot of stuff with Zerdy, and he and I will have the exact same book, but he has trained his audience to do things one way, whereas mine are used to another way. Like, Zerdy will do first time signed book and then put everything in his bin, where you just buy it straight out, like no auction, no nothing, just buy it. And you'll see him just go doom, 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 doom. Within minutes, it's gone. Whereas when I do it, I'll put the same amount in the bin and we'll do like 5. But I'll keep putting them up on auction and they're running. They're like they're buying them. I'm like, you guys realize I have these in the bin. Like, you can buy them for $10 instead of outbidding this dude and spending $16.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd rather do that. That's
really interesting. So
it's so freaking weird to me. Like, I tried the bin thing. It doesn't work on ours, but it works on others.
I just did a whatnot literally before coming onto the show, and it's the first time we ever hired an artist to do an exclusive cover. I dropped 20 in the bin, and like 18 of them sold, and then I did 5 at a time after that, after the allotment sold out.
Do I have some of those?
Yeah, you have some of those. Yes, don't worry about that. But it's
by the way, F-U-ish, I've told you to contact me so I can send you some of my books, and you don't call a dude.
Wait a minute, Ryan. Wait a minute. Before you say anything.
And Sam, I'm saying like G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles.
Sam, like a month ago, right? Who did I tell you I wanted to work with before you ever even came on here?
That is true. You did say Ryan Kincaid.
100%.
I will say that.
But I have my own books. Like, I can give you for your shop.
Hold on. Not only that, and I'm kind of doing too much because we online. But Ryan, I literally was talking to my partner, and I was like, "Yo, Ryan got his own books. He got his warehouse. I wonder if we can work out something where we get like a constant stream of Ryan's books, post them on our page. Like, listen, I'm my wheels is always spinning. You got to keep in mind, Ryan. Right now, though, and Sam will tell you this, I'm actually in like knee deep planning a con.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so and Sam is actually helping me. So it's the first time I've ever done this, and I've been waiting since 2021 to kind of try and do this. So I'm trying to man, I hope the wrong people don't hear this. I'm trying to take over my city. I'm trying to really elevate this community. You know what I mean?
This doesn't stand for Kansas City. This stands for Kincaid Con.
Yo,
we do a con. And it's not a con. We do streaming out of our warehouse
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
once a year, where we bring out a few Whatnot guys. They come and stream from the warehouse. Last year was me and Marat
they're gonna
Michael.
stream from Iconicon. I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, last year was me and Marat Michaels, and we had a blast. But it caught Humberto Ramos' attention. So Humberto Ramos is flying out from Mexico City in November to come do Kincaid
so
Con.
cool.
Wow,
That's so cool.
Out here. Like he's like, I want to come. I want to go do the streaming thing with you and do this and this. So we're like, all right, Kincaid Con. Like, dude, if you find a thing that you can do, you just freaking do it. People crack up at me. I'm like, what? It works. It's just 3 artists drawing, goofing off, and everybody's selling shit.
Listen, Ryan. So again, and I just want to keep it real with you. I 100% have you at the top of my list. And as Sam will tell you, when I make a move, it's because it's set in stone. That's why I didn't want to do anything before I.
You're good. I mean? When you
everything
call,
was,
I'll answer.
Yep.
I see that.
I can attest. Ryan
appreciate
responds.
Yeah, I respond. I hooked up.
Ryan does. I will say Ryan is one of my. He respond to. He's a good responder.
I have my phone. Like people crack up because they're like, "You talk fast." I'm like, we live on our phones. Like for somebody that doesn't respond to you, has a job that they can't have their phone on them. I'm a stay-at-home artist, man. If I don't respond to you, then I'm just asleep or being lazy.
Yeah. So before we move on to the end here, because we're about to call it off, Jamie, my answer to you would be blue chip, keys. Golden Age, if you can. PCH is the way to go. Hardly PCH Golden Age will drop in price. If anything, like Sam was saying, it's going up in years. We're going to be approaching hundreds, 101, 102 years of a comic. Trust me, that's the way to go. And silver keys is your way to go. Maybe some certain modern keys, but that would be my way. Don't try to go and collect the full run and then think you're going to sell the whole run. I mean,
you want an investment, buy comic art.
Yeah,
comic art. Buy some OAs. Yeah.
Yes.
Just in case you don't know what he meant, PCH, pre-code horror.
Pre-code horror.
There are some people who don't speak the lingo so well.
I don't speak.
Hey, but if they watch the show, they know, because we have a lot of pre-code horror people on the show.
Well, I can tell you for a fact this is Jamie's first time attending, because I just dropped in the link. So
okay, well, Jamie,
so
pre-code
advice,
horror.
As someone who sells keys and spec, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. The person who said it best is Ryan, and I'm gonna tell you why. Comic collecting as a collection, and something Sam touched on before about conservation is things. So everything that happens in this very young hobby, right? Comic collecting, it's less than 100 years old. So as we progress, as we went from one century to the next century, we started to see things that we didn't expect. In the last century, we didn't know that things were going to be slabbed, like graded. These are things we just didn't know. 30 years before that, we didn't know that we should be bagging and boarding books. So what Sam was talking about conservation, everything that's valuable and collect everything that is collectible and has value historically has been conserved, right? Like there's nothing that you find an old coin, you're gonna clean it up, you're gonna conserve it, and it still has its value. So my answer to you is nothing is investment worthy when it comes to comics yet. If you can't afford Golden Age, if you can't afford an AF-15, if you can't afford an Action Comics or a Batman, you're not going to see in your lifetime the type of return on an investment that you're talking like stock market, or if you're buying a Picasso, unless you're buying original art. You are not going to retire and take what you've collected in your lifetime and make the type of returns that you think are investment worthy. You're just not going to do it.
You got to buy what you love.
Yeah. It's going to take too long. We need another century of comics existing for it to be investment worthy.
There are some things that I think are primed and prepped to blow up, and it's not in the traditional comic sense that we've been talking about right now, but I think what you're going to see absolutely skyrocket over the next decade is original manga, first printing manga, shonen jumps that are insanely hard to find, first appearances of like household names already, like Dragon Ball Z characters, One Piece characters, they are already starting to jump. And then, as Ryan said, original art, whether it's comic art, whether it's manga art, it is all going absolutely crazy right now. But there's still phenomenal art that you can find out there, and it's a true one of one at that point. But you really have to educate yourself on what you're buying, because there's so many different, I mean, scams out there, but also it could be a color guide. It could be, you know, a remake of a cell. You don't know what it can be without doing your research. And pre-code references. So there was a book that came out. When was it? The 40s? Seduction of the Innocent.
1950s, early 50s.
And basically,
are you talking about the comic code?
Yeah.
So Sam, Sam he's going to. So there's a book. It's Jamie. Next time I have my golden oldies, as I call them, to jump on, they do nothing but pre-code, and it's fascinating. Those two guys. Basically, in the 1950s, there was a Dr. Wortham from. He created a book called "The Seduction of the Innocent." It was basically telling the parents, "Hey, these books from the 1940s and early 50s that were very graphic, with decapitations, drownings, shootings, was corrupting the young mind. So much so that there was a Senate hearing in 1953 or so that condemned these books. And because of the Senate hearing, it created what we now see as this comic code there, CCA. The Comic Code Authority on all books after 1954. Anything pre-54, this comic code did not exist, but because of the comic code now, they have to deem what is considered, worthy for children or worthy to.
Not anymore.
So the other,
and again, I'm sorry. Go on, Dor.
Sorry, I just want to go because Jamie did just also say, he didn't mean investing for like right now going to blow up in 10 years and I can retire. So this goes back to what we were talking about, the blue chip keys, the major introductions of serious characters that everyone knows and loves and is invested in. The ones that are the Spider-Man and the Hulk, and those are already astronomical, Superman.
Yep.
But there are still plenty that, Wolverine and Punisher and a million other people who are very big, very popular now, and will only become more so over time. I mean, even Juggernaut, who is
but you're also jumping into something that you're already going to spend a shit ton of money.
That's the thing. One of the things I always say,
depending on which ones,
the best spec, right? Speculation for a type of potential. The best spec is affordable spec, right? That you can afford, right? So if we're looking at investment or potential, right? I didn't want to deter you with what I said earlier. If you buy a book for $4 and it turns into something that's killing the children in 2 years, and then you're looking for investment, you've just made $800, right? Exactly. So, like, that's an investment, right? That's
you never know what book is gonna all of a sudden jump. I mean, I had the ultimate whatever Miles Morales thing for years, just sitting there because no one cared, and then all of a sudden that book turned into like a $2,000 book out of nowhere.
Well, that's the thing right now. UF4 and Edge of Spider-Verse #2, they've fallen back to reasonable to get them in high grade. But those characters are only going to continue to grow exponentially, and eventually those ones will be what 181 is now, or things like that, because of what those characters are going to mean long term.
Something that could be affordable, Invincible shit. Because I already know some of the plans that they have, and that shit ain't going away for years.
Yeah, Invincible has made more money for Amazon than any other property.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I started
cartoon. I'm talking the comics and the expanded.
Invincible is going to end up being Image Comics or Skybound's Superman type IP.
Yeah,
like really.
It's gonna surpass Spawn. It'll be their
Invincible's already huge. It's after 15, 20 years, whatever it's been.
Well, they also have Walking Dead over at Skybound, so Skybound has two of the most important properties ever to come from.
And Invincible is just going to keep growing because of what some of us know. Like it's just gonna go crazy.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's end it. Let's end it there. I'm gonna go around the horn as always. You guys like to plug your wares. Sam, if you have that exclusive, that's a good time right now to look for it, so you can bust it out. And when it comes to your turn, you could show what's going on.
I have
there.
an image of it, but that's it.
Okay, let's go. Let's start with this guy right here. Let's go with this guy.
So you guys know me. I'm on here pretty regularly. You can find me on Facebook, Dorf Burger. I am a moderator in Comic Book Buy Sell Trade. I'm an admin in a couple of other smaller comic groups, D&D's Pop Culture Smash Group and Ramen Reserves. I hunt books for people. I have books coming in all the time. I know I've told you guys I've got some big news coming. Swear we are this close, and as soon as I'm ready, you'll know. But you can definitely find me, hit me up. I'm always there to help, and I appreciate you guys having me on yet again.
Know it, man. All right, let's go with Sam. You're on, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me on again, Caesar.
You got it.
I mean, I love talking shop with all of you, and it's nice to be on here with some new faces for me. So it's always a blast. You can catch me on Instagram at Comic Sam Collects. I'm a collector at heart. I started moving into selling some stuff just because you got to fund the hobby with the hobby, so you can find me on Whatnot, moving a ton of books on there, just having fun talking to people through the chat. We did launch a #1 exclusive that will be going live on May 14th for Exquisite Corpses, the new #1 from Tiny Onion. It's hard to see on here because it doesn't really show up, but it's an awesome book. Yep. Oh yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'll show it to you. But you can find it on my Instagram.
All right. Cool. And let's go with Mr. Kincaid.
I thought I'd be last. I'm just kidding. You can find me on on Facebook, Ryan M. Kincaid. The website, same thing. Everything is under Ryan M. Kincaid. I do a lot of the Whatnot streams Monday, sometimes Tuesday nights. And a lot of the times lately during the day or in the evenings, it's just me drawing, kind of having fun. So if you want to watch someone draw, some of them I auction, some of them we just goof off. It's just under Kincaid exclusives on Whatnot. No, it's still Ryan M. Kincaid. I don't freaking know what my things are.
Yeah.
Try and make it easy, and I still mess them up.
Yeah, Shannon's out there. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
So Ryan should have been last, by the way.
I just like teasing everyone.
Kincaid Con. Shout out to Kincaid Con. Make sure y'all follow Ryan. Make sure y'all follow Comic Sam. Make sure y'all follow the Comic Menu Podcast. Make sure you go over to YouTube. If you have not, please go over to the YouTube. Click a thumbs up, thumbs down. Watch it for a couple seconds. They always bring dope content. Shout out to Caesar and Dell. So I'm Issue X, owner proprietor of Comic Sense. We are the Robin Hoods of the unfair market. Have a Comic Sense page and a group and an Instagram, and I'm ishue.x on Instagram. Also, we have a live stream called #AllOfTheSpec that we run every Tuesday night, where we sell only new books, keys, first appearances, #1 issues, first cover appearances. If you're looking for every issue of Miles Morales, by all means, patronize your local comic shop. Again, we only have very unique brick and mortar that only has, outside of Silver Age and collections or what have you, we have first appearances, first issues, #1s, first cover appearances, that's what we do. That having been said,
oh, that's it.
That's it.
Shit, I fell asleep.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
Iconicon is coming too. By the way, y'all gonna hear more.
Yes, Iconicon.
Oh, I can't
Coming
wait to see the
soon.
video, Caesar. I cannot wait.
Yeah. So speaking of Iconicon, yeah, look forward to something from me, which me and Ish will be working on, and you'll be seeing some kind of reels or some kind of promotion for Iconicon. Do you know where to find me? The Real Dracula's Wolf. I've been working on some reels of late. People are loving my slab and figure pairings, man. I'm telling you. They like what I do with these things, and I have a slew of stuff you guys have yet to see. Then I look forward to
Exorcist.
I actually took down one right now earlier before the show started, so you guys don't see what it is. So I don't want to spoil it. No, everyone saw that Daredevil. Yeah. That Daredevil I boasted. Other than that, listen, guys, you guys are fantastic. This is such a cool crew. I always like to try mixing it up every Tuesday. Next week, we're gonna try to bring Frank. Dan will be back ish. We're gonna finally talk about this Daredevil rebirth, and what our final thoughts on it. That should be fun. There's always shit happening, so we always have new topics, new shenanigans always come up. And then next month, we're gonna have the murder mystery show with Ryan's wife,
the better half, Shannon, and Marat's better half, Mandy, and Dal. We dive into murder stuff and murder shows and all that, which is a change from the the movie reviews. And then I think I might bring the PCH guys next month, Code Blue Comics and Crime City, and it's always fun, man, because it's an education. Jamie, if you want to tune in and you want to know and get educated on pre-code horror, these guys they're an encyclopedia. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know what the hell pre-code is. And I own 2 of them now because of these guys.
Oh.
So yeah, and they're 2 Senate books actually. So I tell you what, this is good stuff, man. Love you guys. Love all of you for being here.